are looking at a recovered warrior. You see, I spent most of my life believing that I was a warrior, acting like warrior, living like a warrior. And I had so many invitations in order to shift that. And so today, I'm going to invite you into one of those invitations that shifted and transformed who I believed myself to be, so that I could stand here today as a recovered warrior. It was September 2008. It was a beautiful day, and I'm sitting at my desk trying very hard to concentrate on the work, and I couldn't. You see, I was a little distracted. That was the day that my husband and I were going to be bringing home our little girl, our little adopted girl. I was so excited. September 24th, 10 days after my birthday. What a present. And just in case you didn't get it, September 14th is the birthday, just in case you want to send presents next year. I'm just saying. So I'm sitting and I'm so excited, can barely concentrate on what I'm doing. And the phone rings. So I pick it up, hey. And that's when I hear those words. I'm so sorry. We rarely have to make this call. And my world shattered. I was devastated. It had taken so long for us to get here. To tell you the truth, I don't even think I heard anything our adoption agent said to me after that. I hung up the phone, and as you would have it, I happened to be home alone that day because my husband had gone into work. Everybody in our community was supporting us. This wasn't just about us. It was about our friends, our family, our neighbors. And so I had to call him and tell him that we weren't getting our little girl. All I could say was, we don't have her. And all I heard was, I'll be right home. When he came home, we called the adoption agent again and had a conversation. And this is when I made a different choice. You see, up until that moment, warrior would have come on full blast. Warrior knew how to armor up and get on with it. Warrior knew how to move on to the next thing. Warrior was my defender and my protector. And in that moment, there was another voice inside of me. A voice that said, you can make a different choice. You see, as warrior, there were certain things that were going on in my world. I always felt somewhat alone. I was always the rock for everybody else. And especially in this time, when it was just about us, it was about an entire community, warrior would have been in full bloom. And something said, make a different choice. You see, warrior, when she came into being, I held my breath and I steeled up and I didn't feel. And in that moment, when I made a different choice, I decided to feel everything. And not only for me to feel everything, for everyone in my community to see me. Because warrior also meant that I never actually felt like I was really fully a part of a community, that I actually had to stand aside a little bit. I could always look in. It seemed like I was part of the community. I never really felt it. And in that moment, I made a different choice. And when I made that choice, my life changed in ways that I could never imagine. It started me on a journey to discover another aspect of myself. I became feeling Lisa because I actually felt. And I felt everything. And I didn't realize that in holding on to Warrior, I had created a veil that not only that I thought protected me from people coming in, but also prevented me from really showing up in all different aspects of my world. In making that different choice, when my girlfriend came over 2 days afterwards to see how I was doing, rather than going, I went, come in. And when she said, I'm sorry, I let her see me collapse and cry. Up until that point, maybe 5 people in my entire life had ever seen me cry, because that's what Warrior did. It started me on a journey to discover what actually goes on inside of us for those of us who are Warrior. The first thing was I discovered breath. I discovered that I used to hold my breath all the time. Does that resonate with anybody? You know, we inhale and we hold and we hold and we hold, and then we kind of exhale. So I discovered there are 4 breaths. And each of them has a unique way of moving information in the body. Warrior stopped me from feeling. I was actually cut off from the sensory cues that were going on in my body. When someone would ask me how I felt, I don't know. I would give the typical response, I feel fine. What does fine actually mean? In making that different choice, I opened myself to actually be in here. And this is another thing that I discovered. What state are we in when we're in Warrior? Typically for me, that state was, boop, disembodied, disengaged. I'm not in here. It's not safe. Brilliant, intelligent. Wasn't working for me that much anymore. The second state that we could be in Warrior, cerebral. And I lived here for so many years. You know, plan A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z, and then let's start all over again. I could plan. I could talk myself into 5 years down the road and never actually be in this moment. Warrior wouldn't let me hear what so many people were trying to tell me, that they wanted me to be a part of their life fully, that they were waiting for me to be a part of their life. When I decided to make that choice, when I chose to listen to that little voice inside of me that said, there's so much more, you are so much more, and I let myself bring in all that I felt and bring in all the people in my community, what I realized was I didn't actually have to go it alone anymore. In fact, people were waiting. They were waiting to be there for me. I was the one who was holding them at bay. Warrior stopped me from engaging in deeply meaningful connections with other people. And when I made a different choice, I now experience heartfelt, deep connections, sometimes like that. It's happened just in the last few days, just here, in the people that I'm meeting here. I am connecting with them fully, which never would have happened if I hadn't made that choice to not be Warrior. Now, it wasn't easy. It's a journey, and we all know My favorite phrase, are there no children in the room anymore? The journey never fucking ends. Once you start on this journey, it is a lifetime that you are committing to become aware of all those beautiful different aspects of yourself that live within, that are just waiting for us to open up. My world changed in ways I could not imagine. Now, as I said, it wasn't easy. Lots of things happened. My husband and I are now divorced. Now, I could have thought that was a devastating thing. And again, because I invited myself to feel everything, I moved through it very differently. Lesson number 2, that I actually can move through things much faster. That I didn't have to hold on to things for years and years, because Warrior, she was good. She liked to hold on to things. So my invitation to you is take a moment, take a breath, notice what's going on in your life right now. Where are you being warrior? And if you're willing, consider making a different choice. You never know how it's going to shift who you believe yourself to be, transform the relationships that you have with the people in your world, and evolve your worlds in ways that you can't imagine. It's an incredible journey. Thank you.